In the connotation step of poetry analysis, you want to look for the deeper meaning. So there's a few things that'll lead you to that deeper meaning. First one, the biggest one, is imagery, and figurative language helps create imagery, so you want to pay special attention to those. Then sound elements such as alliteration, onomatopoeia, consonants, assonants, anything that adds to the meaning of the poem. So we're going to look at this example, Dulce et Decorum Est by Wilfred Owen. Pay attention to especially the parts that are highlighted in yellow. Bent double like old beggars under sacks, knock-kneed, coughing like hags, we cursed through sludge, till on the haunting flares we turned our backs and toward our distant rest began to trudge. Men marched asleep, many had lost their boots, but limped on, bloodshot. All went lame, all blind, drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoots of gas shells dropping softly behind. Gas, gas, quick, boys! And ecstasy of fumbling fitting the clumsy helmets just in time, but someone still was yelling out and stumbling and floundering like a man in fire or lime. Dim through the misty panes and thick green light, as under a green sea I saw him drowning. In all my dreams before my helpless sight he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. If in some smothering dreams you too could pace behind the wagon that we flung him in, and watch the white eyes writhing in his hanging face like a devil sick of sin, if you could hear at every jolt the blood come gargling from the froth-corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the cud of vile, incurable sores on innocent tongues, my friend, you would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory the old lie, Dulce et decorum est pro patria mori. Alright, so in those highlighted parts, I've added some comments in. You'll see those in the blue. So in the first stanza, we get that imagery. They look pitiful, they're sick. The sludge is the mud, so it creates that really nasty setting for us. And then further down in that stanza, I learned that they're walking barefoot, they're exhausted, they're covered in blood, they aren't aware of what's going on around them. You know, it says drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoots. So in the next stanza, you see this man struggling to get his helmet on to save himself from the gas. So I said they're struggling to get their helmets on and flailing about. He sees a man suffocating like he's drowning. And then the next stanza and underneath there go along with that same image. So that he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. I just said that's an awful image. You have a man dying, and he really creates that imagery for us. And the last stanza shows them throwing the half-dead man in the wagon, and his eyes are convulsing and twitching around, and his face is drooping. The blood is gargling, which is a disgusting image that we can really see and hear, and that's happening because he's trying to breathe. And then the innocent tongues part, I said he's innocent, but he's dying this horrible death. So put together, I said this imagery is vivid and shows us the true horrors of the war, and this Wilfred Owen does a fantastic job of creating that imagery in the poem.